I'm here with Jackie Kelley. She's Ernst & Young's America's IPO leader. Jackie, thanks for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent. We're going to talk a little bit today about the IPO market, some of the changes that are happening, some of the activity going on. What's the outlook for the IPO market right now, and how do you see that changing over the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, we're very excited about the IPO market. We're seeing trends right now that as companies continue to register to go public, and that with the momentum building, that we're going to see a very positive year this year. Is it going to be a record breaker? I don't know, but compared to where we've been in the last few months, I'd say we're definitely trending in the right direction.
That's good to hear. What are some of the sectors that you're seeing a lot more activity in?
You know, we're seeing, it's interesting, we're seeing activity in all sectors right now. We see a lot of companies that are going public, that are established, long-term, large private companies that maybe were private equity backed. We're seeing carve-outs out of large public companies, so a variety of industries, especially at the high end. But then again, we're starting to see the emergence again of more technology companies, more biotech companies, as well as some clean tech companies coming out.
Excellent. Is there a region of the country that is really doing better than others?
Well, you know, we're seeing activity in many of the regions, probably not surprising. A lot of activity still in the Pacific Northwest and the Pacific Southwest regions, but you'll also see it sort of around the southern part of the United States and the Southwest and the Southeast areas as well.
How has the recession changed the IPO market? Not just the number of IPOs coming out, but really changed how a company goes public these days?
Well, you know, that's a good question. You know, obviously, for companies considering doing an IPO these days, I think there is more scrutiny, and institutional investors are a little bit more cautious about where they put their money. So they are looking for companies that have stronger business plans, more stable financial results. So companies need to be a little better prepared going into this process. They can't go in with, you know, no revenues and without profitability. I mean, the expectations right now is that, you know, there is that baseline there. But I'd say overall, you know, there's a lot of optimism there, and there's a lot of ability for companies to take advantage of the markets right now.
What are some of the pitfalls that a company thinking about going public typically would make and not realize they're making?
Oh gosh, you know, one of our key messages is start early. There are a lot of things that happen when a company transforms from being a private company to a public company, and it's not just the reporting requirements. It touches everything, you know, all aspects of the organization. It's the governance models that now get put in place. It's, you know, what are communications, you know, like today versus how they were before. What about transparency? And then there's, you know, the people that you need to actually take your company public. They're very different than they were probably as a private company. And there's, you know, no lack of value, I think, for experience. If you've done an IPO before, there's a lot of, you know, bringing that experience forward to take you to that next step is very valuable.
How would you, I guess, counsel a company who's looking to go public that their management team isn't the right management team to take it to the next level in order to transform their organization so you do have the right group? Clearly it can be difficult if you like the team in place.
Right, right. And, you know, it's not to say that we have had many management teams without a lot of deep IPO experience go public in the markets. However, you know, there is value to that. I think there are discussions a lot of times held. Management oftentimes consults with the board in those processes. We've seen changes made along the way where additional members or outside experienced executives are brought in to either supplement the management team. I think there's cases in history where we've seen CEOs say, hey, I don't want to be that CEO to take this company public. I'll step aside. I might be the chairman of the board, or I'll take another role in the company, maybe a chief technology officer if it's a tech company, and let somebody else drive the ship as you go through that process.
You know, I've talked to a lot of CEOs who have taken, or founders that have taken their company public over the years, and gotten great stories about the road shows. And tell me a little bit about some of the interesting things that might happen that people may not be expecting during a road show.
Oh, well, gosh, you know, obviously with Ernst & Young, we work with a lot of CEOs who have been through this process. And going on the road show, obviously, we hear a lot of the war stories, the sleepless nights, the 3 weeks straight, Europe, across the U.S., but with all that said, I think all of them absolutely love the experience. They wouldn't trade it for the world. Most of them have very good experiences in this process and learn a lot about themselves. The things I think I hear most from the CEOs is they can't underestimate the level of effort just to get ready for that. To be able to boil your story down into like a 20-second or a 2-minute pitch, so that you don't lose the interest of the institutional investors that you're talking to, that's critical, absolutely critical.
Excellent. Are you seeing the deal size change for IPOs?
The deal size is changing. You know, I actually have a couple statistics here. You know, at the end of September even, we saw the average deal size was about 320 million. Just our most recent report that came out at the end of October now shows the average deal size is a little bit lower. It's about 296 million. So the companies that are entering into registration right now in the pipeline are a little bit smaller, and you know, we're starting to get closer to some of those numbers maybe we saw, you know, in 2008 and 2007 now.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you spending some time with me today, Jackie, and great stuff about IPOs.
Thanks,
Thank you
Dustin,
so much.
Appreciate it.